All right, and now I would like to introduce Kerry Rennie from Seasearch, and they also have a wonderful poster here, or pop-up banner, sorry, in the corner of the room, if you want to take a look at that. Welcome, Kerry.
Okay, I'm going to do something a bit differently because that's my style. Put your hand up if you've been scuba diving abroad anywhere. Okay, so what's that? About 50% of the room, maybe more. Put your hand up if you've been scuba diving in this country. Oh, good number, good number. Anyone been trained in Seasearch wildlife recording? You two don't count. Couple of people, excellent. So clues in the branding, really. So we're a national project that takes recreational divers and turns them into citizen scientists who can give back for the marine environment. We've also started to train snorkelers and those looking at the intertidal more recently, as we've recognised that it's a method that can be used in those areas too. And our results are shared widely and hopefully freely. So there's the sponsor side, that's done, pass over that one. Right, here's the interesting stuff. So we record the seabed habitats we find, and they're all eventually available on our free to access national databases. I'll show you a little bit about where you can spot stuff later. And we're training divers in identification and recording. We don't train people how to dive. So if you've never been diving before, don't come to us unless you want to do it snorkeling. So we can be the first people that record this change in the marine environment. So we can see firsthand when maybe a trawler's been through, where there's ghost fishing equipment left behind. Maybe we can be the first to record invasive species and species moving their ranges due to climate change. And there's a very destructive picture from Lyme Bay. And another one, it's not so clear, but they're an invasive species, the slipper limpets. So the Seasearch project started properly in the 1980s. We actually have records from actually in the 70s as well. And that's when scientists who were divers first realised that they could make a real influence and make a difference. And some of the things we've done is directly contribute to those marine conservation zones Lawrence was talking about earlier, and the marine protected areas. We've also discovered things like this mantis shrimp, which has got some serious biceps on it. In North Wales, that's led to an extension of the boundary of a proposed marine protected area. And we've also, very recently, you might have heard in the press, that we've led to the protection of the Loch Carron because of these amazing flame shell mussels. So, Seasearch is a one-day training course. We've also actually, during lockdown, we didn't stop there. We developed an online version, so we were training people during lockdown. We let them do 5 qualifying dives where we give them feedback as to make sure their forms are looking spot on, help them build their identification skills, and we often sit and talk about what's been seen underwater so that we can get the records right that people are giving us. We have a pretty simple recording form. That's a lovely example that we use when we're doing the training course that's relatively quick to use to record, and we have an amazing quality assurance process that Alex in the back there, Alex wave, helps us get all the data onto the system from these sheets. And we use relatively simple these days. We've swapped into using Google Maps as our recording location system, so it's really easy for anybody. They don't need any particular technology apart from their dive gear. So we have the first stage, which is a Seasearch observed form, which you've just seen. We can then go on to train people in the Seasearch surveyor form, which is like a multi-habitat area survey. Takes more time, requires more experience to do that. And then we have little courses we run on taxonomic groups, or individual focus or focus on particular locations that we run. And that's all backed up with a series of books that we published that have come from the experts who are seeing stuff that have underwater photos in, whereas most of the ID books previously used to have photos of dead stuff or photos of stuff that's been brought out from underwater that looks really different. So now we've got a load of marine guides, and Emma has kindly set up a little discount that you can do your little QR code recording if you want to get your hot hand on some of those books. So what happens to the data then? It goes on to, oh, hello. It goes on to the National Biological Biodiversity Network, and we've contributed around 1 million records, maybe just below that, something like that coming through on there from 9,000 sites around the UK coast. And you can see them if you go onto their NWME website, you can go and see them all. And we have records of 3,000 species around our coast and not 9,000 sites. This is our records. It looks very similar actually, doesn't it, from that other map? It's not the same, I haven't stolen it. So that's where the Seasearch records have happened. And as you can see, not as many around our northwest coast as there is around other parts of the UK. And we recognise the challenges there. And we've talked about actually a lot of them today, even if we haven't used these words. So we've talked about the changing sediments and the shifting sands and things. Our visibility isn't quite as good, as we said. We've got a lot of shallow shores. There's very little diving that actually happens here, and no commercial diving operations. So no big boat trips, no big operations happen. But yet in 2024, we did survey 6 sites with quite a few records. So we are building up slowly around our coast, and all those records are uploaded so that you can go onto the system and see where would be a good place to get new records from. So you can go and plan somewhere where there's been no diving before, or where the data is quite old, and you can go and look, see what species they found last time they were there, so that you can get a really good idea what you might see. And our challenge to you is, well, 1, all those divers, come and join Seasearch, and 2, where should we dive? Help us. And I thought I would show you some of the photos that our divers have taken while they've been down here. So these are from Roe Island, which is the northwest corner of Cumbria. So, sorry, southwest corner of Cumbria. Got some really good, all a wide variety of marine life. The Dock, just inland, some invasive species there. It's interesting records coming from the docks, and we have permission from Associated British Ports to go and dive in there and record what we see. And then, not last year, but previously, we've got records going back and including diving the Loon Deep, which is really different, unique site within Morecambe Bay. And if you want to get in touch, that's how to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Do we have any questions for Kerry? All right. Well, if you think of any, I think she'll be around for a little bit. And also, please do visit the pop-up banner. Now we have a recorded video again to kick us off about these communities of practice that have been referred to throughout today. And if you haven't already, please do sign up outside to ones that are of interest. But now we're going to hear from Lisa Beatty from NWME about the communities of practice.